Hey everyone, so I just wanted to take a look at why honing guides can lead to a little bit of frustration, maybe when you get down the line a little bit. Now, anything that's a jig is going to be a limitation to some degree. For a great many people, it's going to be just straight up the best thing you can do, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be using a honing guide. But the great thing about hands and what's between your ears is it's infinitely adjustable. And I do understand that sometimes that's a nuisance. You can see here that a few of my chisels are really quite short because they've been heavily used, not by me. These are ones I've picked up secondhand, but they're just great chisels and they're perfect for so many things. Now, with a honing guide, it can be difficult when the chisel gets short to get the projection needed. Now, this is a very cheap honing guide. It's one of the probably foreign-made versions of the Eclipse honing guide that has been very popular for many years. It's probably the basis for most good honing guides today. You can see I'm right up against the bolster in the back there, so I can't go any further. And with that, I can hone at about 25 degrees. So I could grind that back and I can do what I want, and I can still slip that back and do 30 degrees, and it's going to last for a while, but not much longer. And if I want to keep using that chisel, and I conceivably want to keep going back and back and back, you either stop using it or you decide that the honing guide's not for you. Now, I'm going to be doing some more videos on sharpening, and to make sure that I could do a nice rounded presentation, I invested in one of the better quality guides. Now, this one is a relatively new one by Veritas. It's their side clamping guide, which again is a much improved version of the Eclipse one in terms of manufacture. Now, there's a lot to be said for it, and most people won't be doing what I'm doing, which is using very narrow or very short chisels. Most people will be using longer stuff. What I like about the Veritas guide is it is nicely made, and it's quite affordable. I think it's around £30, and I think that's quite fair. I think those generic honing guides are about £5. These are made by a company that care, and I think that's a really reasonable price to be charging. I think much more than that, and it can get a little bit prohibitive. Now, what I found with this one, you can start to see that it's skewing over. And the reason is because I've got to make sure that I've got more of the chisel engaged, so I can't get anywhere near the projection on this one that I can on that very cheap guide. And that's not because I don't think Veritas have really dropped one in the design. Most people who are going to buy a honing guide, let's be honest, they're going to be buying brand new tools which have got substantial more length in it. Let's grab one of my older chisels here, and you can see there's acres more length on that one, and that's never going to be a problem. And I would suggest for most home woodworkers, you're unlikely to wear a chisel out. And with the Veritas guide, you have to excuse me because I'm not much of a... And there we go, clamped in, no problem. We've got acres of space, but it's just an illustration. But as a bit of a guide, if you're thinking about a better quality honing guide, and you don't want to go for one of those maybe Chinese manufactured ones, I'm really impressed with the quality of that Veritas one for the money. And when I've seen their other honing guides, I think there's like the Mark II, and there's like things, and you adjust things to do a little secondary bevel. For me personally, that looks quite faffy. These ones are just wonderful because it's just a depth stop and away you go. But I think for around £30, I think that's great. And I mean, the knurling on this is really sharp. You can pretty much do it up with your hands. Really impressed with it. Really good value. Excellent quality. I've bought it with my own money. I think if you're looking for a honing guide, give that some thought. And also, if you can, even better, save yourself money overall and give freehand a try. It might be for you. But yeah, just some limitations on honing guides. And if you do want to look at a honing guide, strongly recommend that side clamping Veritas. I think it's very, very nice.